What is up, guys? Yellow Gamer here, and today I am bringing you guys episode 10, my MLB 17 The Show Fantasy Draft franchise. In today's episode, we will be going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. A quick look at the records. We are currently in first place in our division, and the Blue Jays are holding one of the best divisions in Major League Baseball currently in this fantasy draft franchise, obviously holding first place there. In the American League East, on the mound for us, we will have rookie Frank Garce, I think that's how you'd say his name. Now, I want to say real quick, there's probably some confusion why we have a low or mid 60s overall in our lineup, and we're going to be going up against Chris Archer, by the way, who's obviously a dominating pitcher. So you may be wondering, why are we stuck with a rookie like that who obviously doesn't have much talent? Why is he in the Major League roster? Well, and the reasoning behind that is that Julio Urias is currently undergoing surgery to fix his torn rotator cuff, so he'll be gone for the rest of the season. So no more Urias for us. Obviously he's young. I don't know if we overplayed him or we overworked him with his innings. I thought that because of his youth, that we shouldn't be really overworking him that much, but he did happen to tear his rotator cuff, and he will be out of here for the rest of the season. So now it's time to start working around it. The good news is, once you reach the playoffs, most teams don't run a 5-man rotation anyways. It didn't have really any expectations of putting Urias on the mound during a playoff series, besides maybe in a relief role for like a long relieving pitcher or something like that, or maybe under weird circumstances, maybe let him start a game. But that's not a huge concern once we actually make the playoffs to let Urias take over. But what I also want to mention is that you see we're about 140 games in the season right now. With that being the case, there's about 20 games left until playoffs. And with our current record and where we currently are placed in the standings, it's a pretty high percentage possibility that we will be making the playoffs this season, which I want to say I'm very happy about, because towards episode 3, episode 4, there were some heavy concerns, especially on my end, that I was not actually going to be a playoff team. But obviously we've been pushing. The addition of Chris Bryant's made some big differences for us as a team and as a whole. Right now we're looking at a pretty good chance to make the playoffs. So if with that being the case, this will probably be the last episode of regular season. Because I think once we kind of guaranteed regular season, also I want you guys to watch this play right here. Has been revered as a full somersault into nothing. But I figure now that the regular season is kind of secure, the whole point of the regular season is to show you guys some gameplay, show you guys the progression of our team, show you what we can do. And then obviously earn a spot to actually be a playoff team. And I think I've done all of that through these episodes. I think you guys have a pretty solid idea of what our team is about and what their play style is. And now that we kind of secured the playoffs, I don't think there's any real necessity to remain showing regular season episodes, especially when we can hop into the playoffs. And I think that'd be more interesting for you guys. So just want to throw that out there. This will probably be the last episode of the regular season. Now, with that being the case, we're moving on here into the second inning. You see Jock Peterson starts off the inning with a single, and big boy Chris Carter having a phenomenal season, actually leading our team in home runs with 30 going into this game. Going to get a double down that left field line. Put us at second and third with no outs. With, I believe, who is that up to bat right there? I gotta memorize who that lefty is. I don't believe that was Maurer. Actually, that was Maurer, wasn't it? So that was Joe Mauer's going to ground out back up the middle to get us our first run of the game. The Mike Zunino will do the same thing, and we're going to get 2 runs out of 2 ground outs. So that's kind of the great situation about baseball. You don't always need to get a hit to score runs, but it certainly is not a problem if you do. And then right here, Ben Revere is actually going to run out a nice little infield single there to the shortstop, and then Trey Turner's going to come to bat and sadly strike out. So that will be the end of the inning, the end of the second inning. But regardless of that, we're still going to be up 2-0. So that's a pretty comfortable position to be in, especially against Chris Archer. I feel pretty good that we're able to put up a few runs there against one of the most dominating starting pitchers in the league. But the one good thing I want to say, this was similar to another pitcher I played recently, is that Chris Archer is one of those pitchers that, although he does have a very high overall, I always have happened to hit pretty good against him. You see right here, we give up a leadoff double, but luckily our rookie Frank Garce does not intend on giving up his first run of the season in this inning right here. Not going to allow a run on those 2 outs. Then on the third out of the inning, he's going to obviously get that right here with a curveball. They're going to not swing. I don't know what's been going on, but I still haven't made any adjustments to the difficulty. But after this game, as you guys will soon see, there may be some reasons that I need to adjust the difficulty. Right here, Jock Peterson cranking a ball about 400 feet. Probably way more, actually. He just absolutely demolished that ball. And that's going to put us up 3-0. And Obviously, Chris Archer's not super happy. Just look at this pitch location. That's a ball right down the middle. Obviously, Jock, one of the heaviest power hitters, or not really a heavy, that's a weird way of saying it, but one of the best power hitters in the league. Obviously, if you let him connect with a ball, especially one that's going down the middle, there's a pretty good chance that ball is going out of the ballpark, and there's some proof right there. Following that, though, I don't believe we get any hits for a while, so we're going to end up getting Ben Revere to get a ball back up the middle right there. Trey Turner's going to follow that up with a single of his own. And this is where it's great to have fast base runners. Now on first and second with no outs, D. Goran's going to come to bat. And on a ground ball to shortstop, he's going to fling on over to second. They're going to fly it all over to first. And now it's first and third with only one out. But you got to realize we have some tremendous speed on the bases. So right here, Chris Bryant's going to line out to right field. But despite there being a line out, it is still not going to distract Ben Revere from tagging up from third base. And that is going to result in our fourth run of the game. And then, how about we get our fifth and sixth run in the game as well? That's what, at least what Giancarlo's thinking. He's going to crush this ball way out of the ballpark, and that is going to put us up 6-0. Now, I also want to mention, that will not be Giancarlo's last big at-bat of the game. Luckily, in the last episode, or not luckily, I guess you would say, but in the last episode, Giancarlo went 0 for 4 or something like that. But in the game before that, he actually did very good. So, I'm trying to find, obviously, a consistent rhythm with Giancarlo, trying to make sure that he has a great season. I know that a lot of you guys are interested in seeing him remain on the team. Obviously, with him being our first round pick, there's some interest in having him be our star player. But obviously, the biggest issue has been my personal ability with him. But this episode ends up being a little bit of a stepping stone in the right direction to get him playing the way that at least I want him to play. Basically, the real issue was that Giancarlo was hitting home runs for me. And when you get a guy who's probably the most powerful player in all of Major League Baseball, you get him for the purpose of hitting a few home runs. That's right there, we got our 7th run in the game. So with him not actually producing on the offensive side of the ball, it really was kind of discouraging, I guess you could say. But right here, with a runner on first, Chris Bryant's going to come to bat. He's going to pop out here, though. This is one thing. Chris Bryant didn't have a very good game. He had a lot of pitches to hit, not really connecting on any of them. Right there, you see another pitch right down the middle that he's obviously going to whiff out a little bit. But luckily, Giancarlo is coming up to bat once again with a chance to right Chris Bryant's wrongs, and he's going to be able to do just that, as he's going to crank this ball out of the ballpark to straightaway center field. So that's Giancarlo's second home run of the day, his first multi-home run game of the series. I gotta say, I've been extremely happy with his performances, and at least the last couple of episodes. Obviously, I think I'm finding a little bit more of a rhythm, but I gotta say I was really happy with his performance in this game. Obviously, you'll never complain when a guy puts up multiple home runs in one game, especially when it's in an absolute routing of the best team, at least record-wise, in Major League Baseball. With the Blue Jays sitting at that phenomenal record that they're currently at, with us up and now 9-0 when they have Chris Archer on the mound, and we have a rookie pitcher in Frank Garce. I'm feeling really confident with our team. But obviously, like I said, I'm expecting, I'm going to raise the difficulty at least a little bit to add some realism to the fact that we should not be beating a team that's that should be this good by this much. Obviously, I've just been raking the ball on the offensive end, on the on the pitching end. I've just been dominating on the mound. So I think definitely there's got to be some things that are a bit more realistic. So obviously that's the intention of raising the difficulty. But Garce does finally give up a couple of hits and actually a couple of runs right here. You see, it's going to start off with him getting a nice single blooper over the middle, and then right here we're going to throw him back in with Giancarlo, which is going to end up keeping runners on second and third with no outs. Now, obviously, that's not the easiest situation to work out of, so we give Garce a chance to work out of it because he's having a great game. But sadly, right here, he will give up 2 runs on what will end up being a double. That should have been thrown out a second, but I did not expect him to even test us. So now it's going to be a no-out double, and that is when we bring in a new pitcher. So Garce goes 8 strong innings, only giving up 2 runs. We end up working out of that jam, and you see right here, we're now up 14-2. I didn't show you guys the 4 runs we got on the top of the 9th, because to be truthful or just to be honest about the subject, I mean, and also that was a beautiful catch by Ben Revere. But truthfully, at that point, I didn't feel like I needed to show you guys any more at-bats of us just dominating this team. But yeah, in the 9th inning, I think we got a couple home runs. We got some big hits. We just absolutely crapped on this team, I'll be honest. We just made them look awful. But obviously, I'm not complaining. Another big win there and another chance for us to move a few games ahead in our division and hopefully secure that playoff spot. So if you guys enjoyed, please click that like button below. Make sure to comment your opinion of the series and what I could do to make it more interesting in the comment section below. And lastly, subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned to this series and other series I got going on my channel. Been a whole lot of support from you guys going through the series, and I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. So that'll be all for this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.